Hey guys, so I'm here with yet another belay device review. This time I'm going to be talking about the Mad Rock Lifeguard. It's a small little device. It's actually very similar to the Grigri, and I would say that this is Mad Rock's version of that assisted braking style. It does have a few key differences. I guess the most obvious one is it is smaller. Weight. It is a bit lighter. This is the Grigri Plus, so I'd say it's probably about as light as a Grigri 2. Fits ropes from 8.9 to 11 mil, which is slightly smaller than what the Grigri can do. However, it being a smaller device, it is kind of like a multi-pitch Grigri, some people might say. And then that's kind of where the niche is with this device. Is a multi-pitch sort of Grigri setup, and it's just because it's lighter and smaller, more compact. So if you want an assisted braking device while you're working your proj a couple pitches up, then this may be a good way to go. I wouldn't say it's really that much better at rope soloing or aid soloing than the Grigri. Maybe being a bit smaller, if you get enough weight on the downhill side of the rope, it'll actually start slipping through when you're like jugging a line or just on your aid soloing. I haven't experimented with that. It may be worth trying out to see if it could be better than other devices on that sort of process. But other than that, it pretty much just functions like a Grigri. There are a few key differences, one of which is the lever. The lever is quite a bit stiffer when it's just being pulled up, comparing it to the Grigri. See how easy that is, it flips right up. This one you gotta work for it a little bit more. And then also I found that when you're lowering with it, then the camming unit tends to have more of an on and off sort of function. Whereas with the Grigri, there's a little bit of space, you know, like where you can find the sweet spot while you're lowering your climber. With this thing, it's more on-off. So better make sure you have good belay gloves and a decent grip on the brake strand before you lower someone with it. This thing can catch you unaware, so be careful first time using it. One thing that Mad Rock themselves recommend is when the rope is going through the device, that the rope coming out goes over this lip, whereas in the Grigri world you have the rope folding over the lip in a twist. It creates a circuit, and I find, actually you can see there are a bit of scuff marks right here because the rope naturally wants to twist like that while it's going through devices. So a lot of times the rope will make that twist before it goes up. Anyway, so that is something that if you really got to fight it to keep it going over this lip. But they say that that's a good, they use that as a sale point, so that way the rope doesn't get twisted or kinked, which a good broken in rope is not going to get twisted or kinked just from having that little loop, as well as it makes it a lot more work for you. So I mean, like, I would just wrap the rope around myself and let it do what it does, and keep a hand on the brake strand, especially since you're already fighting the brake strand a little bit more with the lowering capabilities. So and I also don't think it'll cause that much of a problem. I mean, maybe it'll make wear go a bit faster if it's on this side other than this side, but that kind of doesn't matter. The device is still going to last you quite a while, so I think it's better to be more comfortable while lowering rather than making sure that the rope runs over a specific part of the device that they recommend. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. The plate opens up. You can see there's a lot more movement here. But then you thread the rope, same as always, brake strand going into climber strand. The rope does stick out of the bottom a little bit. However, that's not really much of a problem. That's just the way it's designed. Whereas the Grigri will encapsulate that rope a little bit more. other than that, that's all the thoughts I have on this device. Again, not really too many. If you want to use it as a belaying from above, same deal like the Grigri. You just clip it into the master point of your anchor like this. Make sure you have it loaded correctly. As far as slippage of rope goes, when it's in this setup, depending on your rope, thinner ropes are going to slip more because of how stiff this pinch is. Actually, with how stiff the pinch is, I wouldn't recommend using this for belay from above. I would say go with either a Grigri. A Grigri 2 still has a bit of a decent amount of slippage, whereas the Grigri Plus, if you flip it in that top rope mode, then the cam is sensitive enough that in most ropes you don't get any slippage. So that's one good point of having the Grigri Plus. I'd say this would not be the device to use if you want to have an assisted braking deal with belay from above. So SPIs, any sort of work in that front, I definitely want to go with a different device. I'd say this one would only be good for gyms and top rope sites and belaying on top rope or on lead. As far as lead belaying goes, you can pretty much just treat it like an ATC because, again, of how tight that camming unit is. You don't have to bother with canceling out the brake strand or anything like that. They don't even have any features for that. Like, again, with the Grigri, how you have that little notch that you can hook your finger in while you cancel out your braking. This one, just pass rope through like you normally would with your ATC. Nothing too complicated there. So that's about all I have to say for the Mad Rock Lifeguard. There is a similar device on the market called the Beal Birdie, which is actually almost a carbon copy of this device, and I'll look at that sometime in the future. But yeah, it's kind of like their take on the assisted braking market. Go ahead and check it out. I wouldn't say that it's really worth it if you already have some other, assisted mechanical assisted braking device, especially like a Grigri, because it kind of gets outperformed. But it is worth taking a look at and seeing if you perhaps prefer this. Alright, well, thanks for watching. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, you can leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next review.